and we're going to do the project proposal. Think now, what I'm going to base it on? I am a student, I'm in this area, and we have different areas here. I have learned this theory, this construct, this, that, the other. What is the theoretical framework I'm going to use to support what I want to do? And you must have done some theories. So you would have done something on justice and the law? Okay. Well, then you're doing something entirely different. You're not only going to look at it. You're going here to a big thing. And that big thing will be how people sentence and the impact on this. Understand? The nature of your study going in a different direction. Because once I ask you to locate a foundation for me, you're going in a different way. So people, you ready? Paul, you ready? No man, you have to be ready. Come, don't eat alone, come. How many people ready to write it down and let's go with the plan? Anastasia, you ready? Come man, Paul. Paul not ready. Shamari, you ready? Leslie? Research topic. Come. Is this useful for you people or am I getting you more confused? How many people more confused? Paul, why are you not writing? You're not listening to me. I like Paul very much, yeah, but Paul don't listen to me at all. Paul. Yeah, let me hear one Leslie. Okay. Okay, I think. Okay. Leslie now go with that team, eh? She wants to look at the impact on security in the Caribbean by deportees from 2004 to 2014. Tell me what is the sense of it? What are you making? What do you think is the question she asked me? What do you think she has to do there?
She has to basically do a study on for every Caribbean territory. In terms of the impact of what happens, so you have to narrow that down because if you're looking at the impact of the security in the Caribbean, that's basically all the Caribbean countries. So from reading that, from what we've taken for you, I would say then that you're going to narrow it down to either a country or two countries. And then if you're looking at it from a 10-year period, that means that you have to look at 10 years later, right? Which might be a lot to cover, depending on how broad you want to do your research.
Yeah, you're quite right, Shamari. Simon?
Is it security or crime?
Let me hear?
No, see, this is security or crime. Well, they both of them. Well, that's what you need to decide. But says it's security or crime.
Now, if she's looking at the impact, she's saying these deportees, this is the deportees here, and she's saying the deportees impacting on security in a broad field. You think she could test that?
What security? Because remember we had this discussion last time.
What aspect of security? But then what she had to do is all the deportees in all the Caribbean territories.
What types of security?
Leslie, in all the Caribbean countries, you have to test on every security issue that comes up. If you go to do that, child, I will dead by that time.
I think she needs to be very specific with regard to...
Then I die even better, faster.
The deportees.
explain what she wants to do?
Is it female, male deportees, deportees from which countries?
Okay, let me go back with the other thing you have in mind. No. You're going back with you're holding in this in for me now. Do you want to see what are the policies with respect to put in place with respect to deportees in the various countries? And are those policies working? Do you want to do something like that? No, I'll tell you something. Your thesis topic, you have to love it, yeah? Otherwise you'll get bored, you'll drop out. You have to buy into what you want to do. Do you want to do that? Look at what are the policies they have with respect to deportees in some countries. And compare and contrast to see the success of
So
it.
it should be the security policies for deportees in either the Southern Caribbean, Eastern Caribbean.
Whatever you see in the life. Or policies with respect to deportees. An assessment of the policy with respect to deportees. As it relates to deportees. And you could say in Caribbean territories or
Don't put
whichever.
that time period.
No, because when you come now in the study, then we'll define it. And say where you would like to do. Wherever you want to do. Okay, people, how that appears to you? More palatable? Miss Shady? How it appears?
I'm guessing the Southern Caribbean is Trinidad and Tobago. Hello?
Yeah.
Because after that is also
Yeah. So she tried nothing on it, yeah. But she does know what
no,
it
but
covers.
we have Guyana and Suriname as well.
Okay, the problem with Suriname is the language thing. Yeah, you don't get the material coming out in English. So you could do Guyana if you wanted.
But how about if she says in the Caribbean and say colon a case study?
The case of
Or Trinidad and Tobago and Guyana. You could do that. But her literature review will be on what? Her academic review of the literature will be on what? On policy. It will be a policy perspective. Now, as she does more research, as she reads more, what she will find out is whether those policies come from outside and we just implement, and the implementation is the problem. She has a wealth of academic literature she can use. But it's measurable, we could do that. We have the data, it's narrow, it's defined, and somebody reading that will say this is what she wants to use. No more, no less.
This is just grammar. Is it an assessment of the policies that relate to the policies in the Southern Caribbean?
That relates to the policies.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That is okay.
That
I'll
relates.
answer it.
That
Yes.
sounds like that.
That relates. That's what it is. Policies.
And you could redefine that as you want, yeah? So that is really concise, it's to the point, and she knows she has a literature to back that. Now my problem though with you is that if it's international relations, Dr. Theodore, you will have a literature that is different from political science.
This
You
is
will
not.
embed it in
No, but
realism.
this is not. Basically, this is a policy,
That's a policy paper.
which is not international
You're what?
relations.
Are you in international relations? You saw that. So then she don't have to fall under international relations at all.
But that's not the policies is not necessarily doctor a foreign policy thing, right? Or security.
Now, it depends what you analyze. But if you analyze the
Policy is
policies,
just a general.
that's
No,
a
but
domestic.
She is in government, so we could
Swing
put
it to
that.
our side.
We could swing it
Because I
different.
are problem.
Okay, Miss Mulder, George. Your
George,
turn.
yes.
No, your turn. Come, you just talking. Come. Come, let me hear you.
That's okay. She throw out her ideas. So
Yeah, let's hear the ideas. Come.
Come on.
Come on. So Leslie, you're right, eh?
Okay, I'll come and see you.
No, we're not seeing you. You're working this too now. Claudia, two. No, I like your thinking. Don't worry. Don't apologize, man. Go for it. Just see what happens.
I'm not writing a question.
No. You throw it before.
I'm looking at training
Uh-huh.
and performance.
Okay. Mrs. Michelle, this was your area too, eh?
Yes, ma'am.
Why I'm looking at these two areas, because I'm in public service, and what I realize is that the first area that they cut is training, right? Why? Because you find that a lot of government ministries do not know how to justify training, right? They don't know how to justify the amount of money they're asking for training. And I was looking at how do you deal with situations like that? Because it's no longer saying, okay, I give you $20,000 this year and you send 10 people to training or 4 people to training or whatever the case may be. It's a matter of now relating training to actual performance. How do these ministries relate training to performance? What I found is that there are many models, Kirkpatrick and whatnot, but you find that these models are not very applicable to organizations, some organizations. And as a result, they just don't know how to do it. They would just show, here I send 10 people to training or whatever the case may be, but the actual end result of training, how do we measure that? That is what I had done for mine. Along that lines I have done for my master's. But I'm asking, as I was in Miss Franco, she's just asking me some questions. How would I have enough information from this to do my MPhil? How would I bounce off ideas from this to get enough information to get research to do my MPhil? What she was advising me is to just type in these things like on the computer and see what comes up in terms of the most recent information. So that
Okay, but I'll tell you something. At the MPhil level, you have to generate it. No longer you're taking secondary data sources. You have to now create.
Well, see what they are and what that's not they are.
But what then you do? You are saying that the governments, now hear how you're contradicting, eh? You are saying the government's not giving money for training. And they don't see no need in terms, they haven't seen the link with performance improvement. So right away you're shooting yourself in the foot. It means you don't have a thesis topic. If you want to say, for instance, and it's not only about training, it's one of the things is not in funding, is that we don't do needs assessment in the public schools. So you can't identify different training needs. That's the first thing they do. And I know that because I came out from the public schools. So then what it is, Mrs. Mitchell, let me help me here.
Well, I think she said it, You need to create a model if that's the direction.
Now we're not creating models here.
But then she can't use those, because what you said is that the old models doesn't work for us. The culture is different. And it comes back to the human factor, yeah? And maybe it's about the people themselves and not in terms of the responsibility, and to probably get back, how do we get the people to really work and to do what you have to do? You want the position, but you don't want the responsibility. So we give you the money, as a government, we give you 20,000. How you spend the money, and it's lack of accountability, right? So in this case, all the evaluation methods not working for you. And with training, what I was telling her before, what is happening in the first world country? What is new with respect to training and development? As a third world country, we only really are the second.
What actually happens, and if you do a scan of what happens to training, when they get the training, everybody goes Korea, Italy, Rome, everything, and then there's no impact in terms of what that training comes from. People who could get scholarships get the scholarship, not a bad job anyway. People who could get the scholarship, get the scholarship.
Yeah.
When that person comes back, they go back to their old post. So in terms of training, it's whether we actually use training for what it was supposed to be.
Exactly.
Performance appraisal was supposed to throw up strengths and weaknesses. So supposed to sit down and make a train. But the people who are there, remember, it's just public service now is yardstick, you know.
Exactly.
It's much but I don't think this is sufficient for a PhD.
I told her
Mr. Aberraj.
in terms of the
Mr. Aberraj wants to say something?
I don't know about the models, but I know about practice, and there's something that has had some success inside public service, and that is pegging training. You do your budget for next year, right? So you define the training based on the projects. So if a project requires, I'll give you a live example. If there's a need to build a particular information system, and then there are specific skill sets needed. So you need project management, you need web development skills, you need to develop programming in a particular area. Based on that, your head of department or PS, whoever it is, will give it support and
That's more technical, eh?
yeah.
That's
No,
more technical meaning.
I'm just using that as
An example.
As an example.
But you know what my
To
question
build a
was?
model around it.
What my question will be, eh? Now people like this thing about model, eh? I will say to you, my question will be, what is new? What is new you generated? When I did my PhD in 1998, finished in 1990, you see, I am very ambitious. Yes, I'm a little fat self. I'm very ambitious. I was skinny then. But I found out that the public service wasn't working. And I went to find out why it wasn't working. And when I did my scan, I went back, I sat in the archives, and I remember this girl, Sadia Hussein, was there with me for 1 year. And people don't understand how hard you work for what you want. We used to meet inside archives, come out, eat a sandwich, a piece of roti, and we go back in. For 1 year, I sat there. 6 months, I sat in Public Records Library in the UK to try to find out what colonialism did to us. Had the actual document, and that was what I wrote on. And then I came back and I did one of the largest surveys ever undertaken. That took me a year again to finish. Night and day, I dreamt of it. And that's why I'm telling you, move your mindset. Because what I wanted to do was to show why things didn't work. The only person I know from the new set, see Courtney? Courtney is a miserable girl. She's take after me and she will do something like that. I know Courtney. Courtney as a student used to come every day and harass me. Wasn't that true? Something or the other. Courtney has that vision. The others, you have to have the vision. This is not going to cut it. You still in your MBA. Your MBA is fine, but your MBA is not what we do. Break it away, move away. We don't want the models. We don't want a set of language. We want you to test something and tell us, madam, I don't care what you say, this is not working. And it's not working because of A, B, C, and D. And I am confident I'm the only one who's telling you that.
I was just going to suggest, right now, we were discussing it in Rwanda, and I was just talking about it. In the public service now, there's a move by the Ministry of Public Admin to have ministries do this performance framework, this kind of matrix, and you have to identify the outputs and then link it back.
Yeah, but I just hear it, Simon.
Exactly. So my thing is it that she could, if she wants to look at the mechanisms that have been employed to achieve.
But then I'll ask you what is new.
Well, nothing is new. That's the
No,
thing.
Marlene George Mitchell. She came and she said to me, I want to do leadership with women. And she took 4 months to rehash that in her mind. And after the 4 months, Marlene come and she sit down there and she say, I want to do so and so. I said, what is new? She went back again. She probably gave a little cut. She go on back again. Now what she want to do, she want to test. And I don't think it's her job. You won't get her job. I think she want to test now what is going to happen, that we're marketing differently, what is going to improve the voter, influence the voter. That is new. That is something I am deferring a sabbatical to be with Marlene on that field. And that is what I want you to do. Tell me something new. You're working in an environment, you're working health, give me something new. Break the mindset. Come out of the shell, give me something new. When next I see you thinking, I don't want to see the hair like that, I want to see all over because I'm thinking. Mrs. Sahari?
It's just that Professor, I thought that Rahul, I think she got a PhD now. She also did something
Let me not go there now. Let me not go there now. Never leave that alone. Once you're under me, people, I want the rigor, please. Good. Somebody else. Go back to the drawing board. Now, this is not to make you look bad at people. This is to just tell you. Move the thinking.
Yes, because I had those two things on my
You're
mind.
still stuck in the MBA. Move from the MBA.
I'm prepared to move because...
No, I know you're prepared to move, Mrs. George. And I have to push you to move. Because I know you very well. And that's why I think you could do much, much, much more. Remember, I have faith in you. Okay. So start writing up now your research topic. And let's go into a research proposal. Start writing your research proposal. This is how your research proposal looks. The first thing you need is the title. And I'm expecting to see this coming through here and continue for the next time. Abstract. What is your abstract? What is an abstract? What is an abstract? It's a summary of the whole. And how long this abstract must be? It must be no more. Cannot be longer. If it go above 2 pages, it's not an abstract anymore. It's a chapter. Make sure your abstract fits into that 1 page or 1.5 pages.
Double space.
Double space.
What font? 12?
12 font.
Take that.
12 font. Double space. And if you all were going to the library, they would have been telling you that. I hope people went to that library thing.
It's this evening.
It's this evening?
There was one yesterday.
Yeah. And it's very useful. I don't give it a lot of time. The next thing we're going with is your introduction. I always tell people, your lecturers are very, very hardworking, some of them. Some are very, very busy. Sometimes your eyesight, because we're reading so much, your eyesight diminishes. You don't have the time to read a million things. Start off, and this is what somebody, Anthony Payne, who is now the Pro-Vice Chancellor in Sheffield, when he came down here, Legea had given him my thesis to read. What do you think he did? He read introduction. He skipped through the introduction. He looked at a skim of the review of the academic literature. He looked at the conclusion and he looked at the bibliographic reference. And I always remember he said to him, "She ready to go. She ready to go." Any good examiner, this is what I do with my students. The first thing in my introduction, the aim of my paper, the aim of this paper. This paper, or you could say another way, this paper argues, contends, whatever. But the main thing the person wants to see is what you're going to do there. I don't want you to come in the middle of the thing. You want to see it up front. If I tell you this is the aim of my paper, what is the question that naturally follows? Why? Why you want to do that? And this is why I want to ask you this. Every time you think about your research question, why? How do you answer the why? How do you answer the why? Because Mitchell, Simone, Luanda all do this. There's white people. But in the Caribbean, we have different cultures, we have different ways of seeing things. And therefore, because they didn't look at this dimension, I am going to do that. So the why is the justification. It could be because there's a gap in the literature. It could be there's a silence in the literature. Nobody has ever done it before. People didn't expand on it. So I am going to do this. So in other words, I tell you, man, watch your whatever, because I am going to be the expert. This is my justification. Then, what is the next question you'll ask? Think you me, you're reading. What's the next question you'll ask yourself? How? If she says she's doing this, how is she going to do it? And you see all the things we're talking about, this methodology and this simply tell the man, listen, I say to have this in the literature. So I, Mrs. George Mitchell, going to look at marginal constituencies. And I'm going to see the impact of this on that. This is what I'm going to do, no more or no less. I'm going to test it, I'm going to do a survey. But I'm not doing the broad survey. I'm not asking you to do the big thing, eh? This is not your... And then what is the next thing you'll ask me? So she says she's going to do that. What is the next thing you'll go? I am limited. I have limitations. What are my limitations? And you will see, it will come up. I can't do this, I can't do that, they have no data, I don't have sufficient data, so I have to stop here. Right away you see it coming through. And then, after you do all that, I always ask students, then what will chapter 1 look at? What will chapter 2 look at? Chapter 3, chapter 4, chapter 5? In one paragraph or two, each one of your chapters must be defined. This is what. So a person, any idiot reading this, will know this is the thesis. What the examiner could do. He handled this and he said, well, let us skip chapter 1. I'm going to review chapter 3. This is your discussion, I'm going there. Person could jump. But the person is quite clear what you want to do. And then you say, this chapter presented, you always end. This chapter presented an overview of the research topic and the methods used, briefly the method used, and how the other chapters are organized. The next chapter will. The next chapter you start with, this is your intro. This is your plan or your proposal as well. Your comprehensive plan and proposal makes up your introduction. So that's why I say your plan has to be clean. If this plan is clean, then this is the beginning of your study. Once you cover this.
Prof, can I say, just say, based on what Professor also told me and what really makes a lot of sense is that introduction can vary.
It will vary when you come to the end of it.
No, even when you're reading it, like how you said chapter 1 will, chapter 2. So right now I've done my introduction to the MPhil. But what I realized, I'm doing chapter 2 that focuses on a certain period, right? And of course you will add a little more.
You add, you eliminate.
More, so you go back. So
and not only that, when you finish, that's survey.
Yeah.
If we don't find it impacting, we change it.
To change again. So it's not cast in stone.
This is not cast in stone. But this is your plan.
That's the general plan. Yeah.
This is your plan. This is going to influence. Remember, when you're finished now, you come back and you tweak this again. Yeah. You always tweak it. Yeah. I always suggest the students use footnotes instead of endnotes. Students now start off your abstract, incorrect grammar, bad spelling. Once I get a bad abstract, it fails. The first paragraph and you have bad spelling, sentence construction errors, and you fail. That is not allowed. We have editors on campus. We have Mrs. Marlene Evans, she's one of the best I've come across. She does all my books for me. She's there at a cost. But she's one of the best editors, I think, in the curriculum. So you can't write, go to the woman now, pay some money. You want to pass, pay the money. But once you come with typo, another thing students are giving me, they're giving me something and it's not justified. So the paragraph is all over the place. They don't know how to paragraph, they don't know how to put the sentence, the commas, when to end a sentence. You will be shocked. I have sentences going on for 6 lines, 7 lines. And I keep wondering, good Lord, who taught these people? It's not a paragraph, it's a sentence 6 lines long. End it, man. Make it short, make it sweet, make it sound good. Read it to your peers. That's why you're here, you could share the challenges. No. We want now coming out of this. So everybody could start this because I could go into a review of the literature now, It's 3 o'clock? Yeah. Okay, people.